faculty and other interested stakeholders is in the Critical Thinking Assessment Project. This is a second of 4 videos introducing primarily faculty interested in embedding the CT assessment opportunity in their course in the spring of 2014. In this video, I will comment on the Critical Thinking Project at UMA, which is the context of asking faculty to embed this procedure in your course this spring. I'll keep this brief and certainly provide additional information upon request. First of all, let me note that the 2012 report to the social science full-time faculty on the initial phase of this formative research project is available to adjunct and full-time faculty who access the UMA faculty website and identify the critical thinking assessment area, and it's in that area. That being said, the project began in, it began as a professional development interest many years ago, and I think it's been an interest for us all. Needless to say, both the literature and our own experience tells us that virtually every faculty is interested in critical thinking and attempts to incorporate the evaluation of critical thinking in the grading of routine assignments within a course. So we have definitely faculty as stakeholders. We have students as stakeholders, and we have the SSC program as stakeholders. We have the UMA as an institution as stakeholders, and all of these have been actively involved in the discussions since the initiation of this project in 2011. The project was initially undertaken by myself, Professor Lorian Lake Corral, and Catherine Turcott Seabury, faculty members within the social science program. The intent of the project was to leverage our social science skills and knowledge and to demonstrate the feasibility of collecting data on this one general education outcome. In the social science program, there are 2 sets of learning outcomes at the program level. One of those being general education outcomes, the other being program specific. It's also a fact that most social science students in your courses and mine are not majors, and hence we have in fact majors and non-majors in our courses to consider. All that being said, the challenge to operationally defining critical thinking, reviewing optional measurement strategies, and implementing pilot studies has been formidable. We did discover the California Critical Thinking Skills Test, CCTST. If you go to insideassessment.org, you'll see that that is merely one of a constellation of measures that this one model of critical thinking incorporates in the research on critical thinking, both skills and dispositions. In other words, it's one thing to have the skills, it's another to value using them in a daily basis. In any case, I am migrating to a later video. This project began in 2011, and we undertook simply using a convenience sample in several 100 level and 400 level courses to see if this was feasible and practicable within our courses. The results of that first iteration of the feasibility study was the gathering of about 30 student records in sociology and psychology courses. We were able to generate primarily descriptive data, but it should be noted that descriptive data does include standardized scores that are comparable to national benchmarks that are accessible through InsideAssessment.org. All that being said, our purposes, I cannot stress this enough, our purposes are not evaluative. We did not attempt pre and post measures, and there are many facets of a fully developed research project that we were fully aware were beyond either our aspirations or our capabilities. So we gathered the first 30 records, we looked at the records, we familiarized ourselves with the subscales of the CCTST, and we explored options such as developing our own rubrics and so forth. And again, I'll comment further on this in another video. We were funded through the university that was interested not only in the social science program undertaking such a project, but it's important to note that the institution itself has expanded its Office of Institutional Research and Planning and needs to be able to generate meaningful general education outcome data as well as course-specific or program-specific outcome data as a part of its own demonstration of assessment capability in the academic area vis-a-vis both its accreditation needs and, frankly, the scholarship of teaching and learning with colleagues at other institutions. So there's been interest from the outset from the provost, the president, the Senate, and so forth in this small pilot project started in 2011. In 2012 and in the first part of this year, we continued to refine our practice with the acquisition of an additional 30 student records and lost some of our key members and gained others, but have continued to build a database and our understanding of the strengths and weaknesses of the CCTST. In late 2013, which is when I'm making this video, the institution, through the Senate and in relationship to preparing for the next accreditation visit in February 2015, is keenly interested in enlarging the pilot study and engaging more faculty, and faculty not just from the social science program, but also from the other, I believe it is 14 programs at UMA. So in brief, interest is growing, and thanks to the work of Honda, Hirosuke Honda, and also of the current assessment director, Professor Rob Kellerman, we have been discussing continuation of this design, refining it, its limitations, its safeguards for faculty and for students. And now we are, as you're watching this video, we are posed to start the third wave of data collection involving additional members of the social science faculty. So that, in a nutshell, is the evolution of the Critical Thinking Assessment Project. Again, it can't be stressed enough that this is a fragile new practice at UMA. It is not, as some fear, associated with performance evaluations or summative evaluations of any kind. It could, at a later point, as any assessment method could, be applied with different goals, but those are not the goals at the present time. Success indicators at the end of spring would be simply the gathering of significantly greater numbers of student profiles. I would stress that those profiles, when aggregated, are de-identified. There's absolutely no interest in maintaining or utilizing individual student records other than within your courses. And part of the model is when a student completes the test-taking procedure, immediately there is available to the student the results of their assessment. So therefore, I encourage faculty who are going to embed this in your course to what I call test drive it yourself. Look at the results, desensitize yourself to your strengths and weaknesses, and understand how really early in the process we are in developing this assessment capability. With respect to costs, I know faculty, myself included, are enormously overburdened in terms of not only adapting technologies and redesigning courses, but for both adjuncts and your very full-time lives outside of teaching, as well as the full-time faculty and their very full-time lives providing university and community services and research and so forth. Time is of the essence. So this is designed to be time efficient, and I think you will find, based on our earlier experience, it is not overwhelming in terms of the time demand once you're aware of the nature of the project and the role of the faculty. So in my next commentary, I will address solely the issue of the faculty members' experience for the first time and possibly the second time embedding this opportunity in your course. So again, questions, concerns, whatever, contact Professor Lorian Lake Corral, myself, or James Cook, and we would be more than happy to coach you and problem solve with you over the course of the spring semester. Thanks very much.